I'm a father, and I want to keep my son safe on these streets. Is there a solution, and do we see it anywhere in the near future?
Well, is there a solution? There's always a solution. The question is, can we find it? One specific thing that that our office has done is to reach out to the Massachusetts Alliance of Minority Law Enforcement Officers this year. That's basically the organization of Black and Latino officers in Boston. To the Louis D. Brown Peace Institute, the organization Tina Sherry founded, and to Charles's office in the Nation of Islam. And we asked them, could we all work together in terms of pulling the community together to kind of look at what we can do around the issue of violence. Kind of the base of what I was talking about a little earlier. That is not just the individual decision, but what can we do as a community to really help decrease the violence. And so we've held one, and we've got the National Black Patrolmen's Association, a guy named Ron Hampton, who's a really good brother, and a brother from Jackson State who worked with them to come up, and they're facilitating these workshops. We've done one with families that lost loved ones to violence, and others that have loved ones that are in prison because of violence. We're having one this Thursday with young people between 16 and 24 who have either lost loved ones to violence or have loved ones who are in jail. And then in the end of October, we're going to have a kind of a community-wide meeting, and the purpose is to try to bring us together to really look at what are the things we ought to be doing to lessen the violence, and what are the things that what are the things the police department. That's no answer, but it's beginning to try to get us to organize more around it. The other initiative I talked about in terms of looking at the question of young people and and older people and our use of violence, and getting us to look individually at that issue, I think it's another important step in building a foundation. There's a third piece, and that is that there's a group of young people between 16 and 24 who in Boston, between 2006, there were about 10,800 who were out of school and out of work. And we got the mayor's administration to begin to work with us, and so around that issue. So there was a survey done up in the Grove Hall area, and 1,000 surveys done of young people who were in that category, and the information is now brought together, and we're going to begin to sit down and look at some of the things we could do. One of the issues that's come up is, can we start a teen club or a teen young adult club where there wasn't any alcohol, but young people could come in and be out, be out at night, but not in a situation where they're hanging on the corners. Because if you think about it, if you're 17, 18, you have a child or two, and you're out of school, don't have a degree, what do you do at night? How do you socialize? Where do you socialize? You don't go to the club. You don't go to the boys' club, and if you don't go to a club with liquor, you don't go to the boys' club and the girls' club. So the whole issue of what do we do is a key issue, and that we're going to begin to work on. The other thing, though, that I think, eventually, I think we need to have our children at age 3 and 4 start taking karate. That is, I think we need to have martial arts as part of the public school curriculum throughout this country. Why? Because if you're really if you're talking about seriously dealing with the issue of violence, and how do we protect our young children as they go out in the street in a community that has a lot of violence, you have to acknowledge that there are bullies out there. That is, there are bullies in every community. That is, there are people who have the thought that I'm going to be able to get ahead by coercing somebody else, oppressing somebody else. And so the question is, what way do you begin to deal with violence, with the reality of bullies, and at the same time talk to our young people about nonviolence? I think the way you do it is that we train our young people in the martial arts, because what the martial arts trains you to understand is that you determine what happens around you by your actions. And so if we can get our young people at 3 and 4 and 5 beginning to understand that they have a power and control of what happens around them that they develop and that nobody can take from them, and you can show them the tools about how they develop that power and how they develop that energy, then that means that the bullies have to, that the whole issue of bullying in a community, the issue of violence in the community where everybody is armed, the issue of violence in a community where everybody is packing is a very different issue than a community where there are only some people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is, if everybody is carrying, then everybody knows that I gotta, damn, I might be shot in the back while I'm doing this, because everybody's packing. If we bring our young people into the martial arts and that level of understanding, and then young people know that everybody out here understands how to use that energy, then that begins to create a different kind of, I think it potentially begins to create a different kind of mindset in terms of what people do. So after, push all the rhetoric out of the way, I think you need to take him down to the martial arts class. I think you need to get into the martial arts class with him so the two of you can talk about that experience and you can help him begin to understand that, knives and guns are a reality, but the most powerful human energy is human energy. The most powerful energy is human energy. We aren't taught. The slave master never wants the human being, wants the slave to know that the most powerful energy is human energy. That's why as men we try to treat women the way that they feel they have no power without us, right? Because once anybody that you're manipulating begins to realize that they have a power, then it's a whole new game. And so I think what we have to do is begin to help our young people and older people understand the power we have. On the physical level, that means martial arts. On the mental level, it's to we have to begin to help people understand the power of the mind. The mind controls everything out here is a product of mind. Everything that everything that was not given to us by nature is a product of mind. The mind has a power that goes so far beyond what we think that because we don't really give it credit. We really don't give the mind credit for the power that it has in creating the reality. And so I think one of the things we have to do with our young people is, help them understand how to use martial arts to develop their energy, but then keep that growing so that as they get older, they begin to understand that their mind essentially shapes the nature of reality around them. And just why they can control that little space, if they develop their mind, they wind up controlling the larger space, but you can't get to that power until you take the revenge and evil from your heart. That is, the martial arts, I think, has as one of their principles that you have to have an open heart in order to have the energy flow in a open, consistent way. And so both have to go together, the desire to protect oneself, but also the understanding that energy can't be used to harm someone else, otherwise it just comes around and kicks your ass.